Hello. This has been a disaster.
My cup of tea has vanished.
Well, hello guys and girls. This year we're not going to be doing the advent calendars, but we are going to be putting out a few different videos throughout December and up to Christmas. Hopefully last year's Christmas video will also be going out on time. Well, late as in last year, but it's going out this year. But we did a poll asking people what they'd like to see me do. And out on top, which was the winner, is a traditional Christmas cake. There is a easy fruit cake one you can do, which can be used as a Christmas cake, but if you want the proper one, it does take quite a long time to do, especially in the oven. It takes up to 4 hours. Excuse me if I keep looking at my old recipe, but I haven't baked a traditional Christmas cake in years. As I say, that's what you want to see, and that's what I'm going to do. So we'll get on with it, shall we? For this, you need to preheat your oven to either gas mark 2 or 150 Celsius if it's electric. And let me see if you need to be any lower for fan assisted. Or 300 F if you're doing it that way. But apart from that, gas mark 2 or 150 C if it's electric. What you need to do next before you do anything else is line your cake tin. Oops, excuse me. This year I'm using Bako foil. It's parchment and foil, which is really good and strong, but you can also shape it quite easily, so they say. A bit of snow at this side. Well, I hate doing rounded things. I'm sure you'll probably be able to do your cake tins a bit neater than me. You need to leave some on the outside because when the cake goes in, it will actually shrink back. Excuse me while I have a drink of my tea. Right, try and crack on now, because you need 2 bowls. You need one for your dry ingredients, and then I'm using my good old-fashioned heavy bowl for the others that need creaming. So make sure you've got your bowl on 0. So into here we are going to put 12 ounces of self-raising flour, so we've got the flour in the bowl. We now want our spices, so we want teaspoon of ginger. You don't have to put ginger in actually if you don't wish. I'm going to do it my way. I know roughly what a teaspoon is. Come on, stop being an idiot. You want a teaspoon of mixed spice. That gives it a nice warm flavour. And we want a teaspoon of ground cinnamon. Like so. Your 3. As I said, you don't have to put ginger in, but if you suffer with indigestion or that sort of thing, heartburn stuff, ginger is very good because it actually stops it. So we've got those in, and we now need in our almonds as well. 4 ounces of ground almonds going in. I always tend to add my cherries into my dry mix, because otherwise if you don't, cherries can drop to the bottom of the cake. You want to cut your cherries in halves, by the way, and put or as near as, and drop them into your dry mix. Put as many as you want in. I always put a good few in. It's the nicer cherries in cakes. You can also add mixed peel if you want that in. I don't like mixed peel, so it doesn't go in my cake. We've been promised some more snow by 4 PM today. Whether we'll get it, I don't know. Don't know if any of you have had snow wherever you're from. We like cherries in this house, so I always put a good few in. Get them in before somebody pinches them. Wherever he's gone. I think we can call that a draw on there. Now, I am also adding some chopped mixed nuts. You don't have to put these in if you don't want. I do think they add a little bit of something extra. These are all mixed ones, so I'm going to put those in as well. So it's roughly about 4 ounces of chopped nuts. And you've got your almonds in there as well. So you need to gently mix your dry ingredients together. Give them a good stir. This way your flour coats your cherries, stops them sinking to the bottom of the cake. You may be wondering why the fruit hasn't gone in yet, but that goes in at the last bit. I'm going to transfer this to my other bowl so that I can use this one for measuring for the other bits. Sure, that's back on 0. You want 8 ounces of butter or margarine, depends on what you want to use, and you want 8 ounces of caster sugar. Don't use granulated, that's the stuff that people put in their tea. You don't want that because it's too grainy. You want nice fine caster sugar. So we're going to measure out the sugar. Right, I just need a little bit more. This is a white caster, but it doesn't really matter. If your sugar, when you get it out of your cupboard's a little bit on the hard side, it's still perfectly okay to use. Just pop it in your microwave for a few seconds and it'll just re-soften it back up again. Especially if you're using any recipes that have brown sugar in. So now we need to add 8 ounces of butter, which I do. I always use butter for baking. I don't use margarine. I might have to go get some more butter out of the fridge. I don't think we've got quite enough. Right, well the next stage is we're going to cream our butter and sugar. And so this just does take a little while to do. It does get a little bit stiff, but it's just a case. Oh, excuse me, I have to stop for a minute or two because my hand's seizing up again. I have trouble with both my hands that seize up. It's nearly there now. We've got most of the sugar mixed in. You can of course use a mixing machine if you wish. I mean, I do have one, but I always like to do things by hand if possible. So now we need 4 nice eggs. Now these I get are lovely. They're all golden yolk ones and I get them from Aldi. So I want 4 of these. I'm going to crack them. Sometimes take a bit of cracking, but you don't want any eggshell in there, so be very careful doing this bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we now want to add 1/4 of a pint of milk to these eggs. So that's roughly takes that to, when you put the milk in, takes it to half a pint. Beat the eggs and milk together. Takes a little bit just to get, making sure you get all your yolks beaten through. So that is the eggs and milk mix. A bit at a time we're going to add the eggs and the flour, and remember this is all your dry, so this is your nuts, your flour, your cherries and your spices. Put a little bit in and we're going to put in some of our egg mixture, not too much. You need your spoon back again. Again, some egg mixture and some of your dry, and again we're going to start mixing that. Still very stiff at the moment, but it will slacken up. Make sure you give it really good stirring there while you're doing it, so that it gets all your, if you've got any dry mix around your outer edges, it will all go in. Don't do it too quick, otherwise you'll end up with egg going everywhere. So the last of the flour along with the last of your egg and milk. You don't want any dry spots. And then it's coming together nicely. So that's all that bit done. The last bit to go in here before we put it in our tin is our fruit. If you want to measure it, it's 8 ounces of sultanas, 8 ounces of raisins, and a bit like my mum used to be. She hardly ever measured anything. It was, you know, a cup of this, cup of that. Oh, that looks enough, I've chucked in, you know. So I'm going to add some raisins. when you want your sultanas. Now you've got to mix this in now. This is the last bit of the journey before we put it in our tin. Let's get this fruit going in. Nearly there now. So go from your sides, make sure you don't leave any behind. And give it a good mix. So you just keep checking that all that fruit has gone into the mixture. And now we're going to transfer this to the tin. I can't use my spoon and hold that bowl because of that wrist.
Right, I'll hold the bowl.
You hold the bowl. Bodger and Bodger. Listen, you can't really see this because my arm's in your way, but we don't waste it.
Don't waste the mixture.
Oh no, you don't waste your mixture. What's the point in making a specific amount of mixture if you're going to waste it? That's why you need a silicone spatula to get the bowl nice and clean. And we're going to spread it out. Push your mixture out to the sides. All nice and even. You don't want it thicker at one side than the other. The last thing though you do need to do is you need to protect that top. You don't want that cooking on too quick and burning. So you can use greaseproof brown paper, parchment again if you wish. It just protects your top before it's going in the oven. You don't want it sticking to your cake. You want a pleat. It doesn't have to be rock tight. But you need that bit of a pleat in the middle so it doesn't stick to the cake mixture. So now I'm going to put this in the oven. That is now going on there very gently. So you want it on the middle shelf of your oven. And as I said, don't forget to preheat that right at the beginning before you start doing anything. Then your oven's at the correct temperature when that goes in. It does take about 3.5 to 4 hours. When that is cold, well, when it's done, lift it out, let it cool in the tin. Once it's cool enough, you take it out of the tin, and then if you want to put marzipan or icing and things like that on, what you would need to do, if you're not very good at actually making icing, which it's quite easy to do, you can buy ready to roll icing. But if you want marzipan and things on, you need to warm some jam, spread that with a pastry brush over your top of your cake and round your sides. And then you do a circle of marzipan for the top of the cake and you do oblongs to go round it. Let that sit so it sticks to your cake. Then either make up your icing sugar and water to a good thickness or buy ready to roll icing. All you have to do then is apply that to the cake. Make sure it's secure so that you don't get gaps. Once that's secure, then pop your cake somewhere nice and cool for that icing to set. You can put it in the fridge or in a cool larder if you've got one, but somewhere nice and cold. And then once that's set, you can then decorate it with little Christmas trees, etc. if you wish to, or put on Merry Christmas. But unfortunately, through an operation that I had, I can't eat sweet icing and marzipan, etc. anymore. There is a recipe though for an easy fruitcake, which is like a type of Christmas cake anyway, if you don't think you could manage to go right through all that lot. If you want to know how to do this recipe, there will be a video on my channel shortly after the release of this video, and there'll be a card in the top right corner of the screen, or you can find a link to this at the end of this video. Well, it's been 4 hours in the oven, so it should be okie dokie. Let's have a look. Now then, right, we're going to test it and just make sure. Yes, it's clean as a whistle. Dry as a bone, clean as a whistle. That means it's fully cooked through. But I prefer my top just to be a little bit slightly darker than that. So, you see like the colour around the edges? That's the colour it should be all on the whole way round. So I'm just going to pop it back in without its foil. And I'm just turning the heat up a fraction. About 175, 180, so it's between 3 and 4. I'll check it again in 5 minutes. Well, we're back again 5 minutes later. And we're going to see what it's doing now. No, not quite. It's getting there. Give it another 5 minutes. So we gave it an extra 5 minutes. I've turned the heat up just a little bit further. So it's staying no matter what colour it is this time. It ain't going back in. And that's better. There's just one patch, but that doesn't matter.
Smells bloody lovely.
Yeah, it should do with all the spice I put in there. Well, that now needs to go in that tin. And mine is what they call a spring-loaded tin. There, that's a spring loader. And when you flip that back, that'll loosen the sides round the tin. But with it being red hot, it needs to cool off now for quite a few hours on its own in that tin. And then I can open it up and lift that off and it'll just have the base underneath it. So, we're going to leave it there overnight. We'll come back tomorrow when it's cool and I'll take it out of its tin. And then we're going to have, I think, 2 taste testers. My pal Katie, who lives just a couple of doors up from me.
Hello, Katie.
Hi, Katie. She wants to come and be a taste tester. But she also wants to be a taste tester for another thing that I'm making. But not just yet. So, it's now the following day and it's actually the 1st of December. And this video will be going out today as well. Without further ado, I will get the cake out of its tin and release the spring load. So, we've now let the spring release off, so we'll take the outer one off, comes away clean. So we're now left with the base plate and the cake. So, we'll now take the paper down. That is down. And I need to transfer it onto a plate. So what I'm going to do is I've got to lift it that way. The base is down there now. So all I'm going to do now is remove the paper. It's weighty.
Smells nice from here.
That's the bottom of the cake. You can see a lot of the fruit there. Would you like a piece?
Oh, go on then, just a small piece, and it's got a lot of nuts in it.
Well, the small, tiny nuts.
I am somewhat allergic to nuts, I have to be very careful.
Yes, but only certain nuts by the...
Yeah.
I remember rightly.
I'm okay with a little bit now and then, but if I do eat too many, then I blow up.
Oops.
Very crumbly.
Yes, it usually is.
There's the inside.
Yep. Full of fruit, cherries, nuts, spices, you name it, it's in there.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. What you can do if you don't want to use it all, so if you just want to use half, cut your half off that you want to use, then wrap your other half up in foil. When you've done it in your foil, put it in a tin with a lid on, nice tight lid, and then say put it somewhere cold and dark. And so you can put it in the fridge, you can freeze it, but you know, it does keep well without freezing. So if it's in a tin with a lid on, pop it out your way and then you can use it when you want it. So, right, that's the Christmas cake done. So, thank you for watching. You can always give it a like or leave me a comment. So, we'll see you next time. And right now, here's the bloopers. Hopefully, this year's Christmas video, go away you, will go out on time. And also, no, get out of here. Sorry for the interruptions. Somebody's got a stupid head on. Yes. Put me off my stride, you.
You must have start from the beginning again.
No, I'm not. I'm carrying on. A teaspoon of mixed spice.
And a dash of some comfort.
Don't you dare ruin my flipping cake. The cherries can drop to the bottom of the cake. And you don't want that. Give up whatever you're doing. I knew it. It's a cherry thief. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I know. Right. Will you go away? And it was nearly unpolite then.
What were you going to say?
Fuck off. Come on. Sorry about that, folks. Get out of my kitchen.
Get out of my...
Get out of my kitchen!
Yep. Will you? I might need to go for it.
Wait for me to get out of the fucking way.
Yeah.
Sneak preview.
Yeah. Oi. We're not a sneak preview of that. Thank you.
Only fans.
So I can see what I'm doing. Just a second. Can't see me at the minute. Oh, shuglumps. Right.
Yeah.
Phone's decided to part company from the stand. I've got hold of it.
Let me get out of shot.
Then you need to...
Sorry.
It's alright. You need... Okie dokie, Mr. Man.